Wow. I was not expecting that ending. So, Presence is a brand new supernatural thriller from Neon. The film is directed by Steven Soderbergh and it stars Lucy Liu, Chris Sullivan, Eddie Mayday, and Kalina Liang. A family moves into a suburban home and becomes convinced that they are not alone. And that is the only plot that I can give without spoiling anything because y'all, there is way more to this movie than what the trailer showed. So yes, this is a supernatural thriller, but I would also argue this is a family drama, and I couldn't be any more satisfied. So if you didn't know, this movie is a supernatural thriller, but it takes place from the perspective of the ghost, or the presence. And the way this movie handles the concept is quite intriguing. You have to have some good camera work to tell that perspective, and when it came to the camera work, this movie did not disappoint. The camera work in this movie is impressive. This movie does a great job at making you feel like there is a presence in this house. From the stationary shots to the panning shots, it really does feel like we are invading this family's privacy. Every scene is all done in one shot. So let's say, for example, there's a scene where we watch the entire family enter the house before buying it. The real estate agent and the family are all having dialogue with one another. And then the scene will end and cut to black. And then it cuts to the next scene, then cuts to black, and then goes into the next scene. You know what I mean? Which honestly does make sense because if you're telling a story from one perspective, there should be little to no cuts in that scene, in theory. And I can only imagine how intense it must have been to film those scenes. Like imagine you're in the scene and then someone messes up on accident, you have to start that entire scene over from the top. And keep in mind, this entire movie was filmed in 11 days. So you know those actors had to lock the fuck in. Great camera work, beautiful one-shot scenes, and also beautiful cinematography at that. I feel like the cinematography really does capture the essence and the presence of the presence. No pun intended. I actually did like the characters of the family. For the most part, they were your typical beautiful average family. But when it came to understanding and realizing that they are in the presence of a ghost, I think that made me even more connected to the family because their reactions were pretty realistic. I mean, could y'all imagine just moving into a home and finding out that a ghost is currently living there? At that point, the ghost can have the house. The bros got it. The humor was very subtle, but when it worked, it worked. But the third act is where this film truly shines because, woof! The level of anxiety and tension in that third act was immaculate. This movie pulled a Transformers 1 and locked in for the final act. Because I'll be honest, y'all, the first act is not very good. Like, it's build up, but it's slow build up. To the point in which I had thought I walked into one of those artsy-fartsy films that critics were praising. And while the first act of this film kind of is that third act did the craziest 180 I've seen in a minute. I don't think anything could have prepared me for how that third act was gonna go. So if you can get past the insufferable slow first act, the rest of the movie is pretty good. This movie does a pretty damn good job at handling the concepts and themes of overcoming loss, grief, and suffering. It's done in a way that's heartbreaking, yes, but also serves as a reminder to why we need to value and care for our loved ones. Because you never know, guys, and let's be honest, life is too short. A family drama disguised as a supernatural thriller. Yeah, I dig it. And real quick, I'm thankful the third act wasn't no giant exposition dump. It's done in a way that feels mature and respectful to the audience. But in the end, guys, Presence surprised the hell out of me. I had no idea where this movie was going to go, but you know what? I'm glad I experienced it. And so should you. So, plugging Presence into the rank system, I am placing this one into the pinnacle zone. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much my review for Presence. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? How would you react if you found out there was a ghost living in your home? Whatever you thought, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you all in the next one.